Do you want to live in a tropical country? Do you want to live in a place where you can enjoy lots of nightlife? Do you want to live in an apartment, in a hostel, in a hotel, or maybe in a shared villa? Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Laura and I'm a finance coach and entrepreneur, and on this channel we explore the tools and strategies that help us to level up and live happier and richer lives. Today we're gonna talk about how to become a digital nomad. If you want to become a digital nomad, there are several steps you need to do before you can actually set out and book your flight and travel the world while working. So in this video, I will guide you through all the steps with all the things you need to think about before getting started on your journey. We will jump straight into it, but first, make sure to hit the like button because it really supports my channel. And if you like these types of videos, also hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any content. So how do we get started being a digital nomad? One of the first things you need to figure out is how you're gonna be able to make money. And there are tons and tons of options. You can be a freelancer with marketing, SEO, video editing, a virtual assistant, a web developer, a programmer, or even a language teacher. There are tons and tons of options, and if you have specific skills, this might be a great option for you. You can look for jobs on pages like Fiverr, on pages like Upwork, or if you want to go into online tutoring, there are also separate pages for that, like for example Cambly. If you don't have these specific skills or want something more secure, you could also look for remote work. There are tons of companies, especially now after the pandemic, that offer remote work where you can work online wherever you want. Companies like Zoom, Meta, Airbnb, American Express, Salesforce, and Shopify do offer remote work. Check out their career pages and see if you can find work that interests you there. Once you kind of know what you want to do, you can apply for these kind of things and start working, and this will give you the financial stability you need to be able to sustain yourself in another country and also to travel. Aside from your usual 9 to 5, you can of course also start a side hustle or try to establish some sort of passive income. I did do a couple of videos on these kind of topics. I will link them here for you. Once you got your financial and job situation sorted, you want to make sure to cut ties location-wise and financially. You want to end commitments that are tying you to one place, like your apartment lease, any cars or vehicles you might have, any subscriptions you have, you want to get rid of them and cancel these, so you are in the clear and have nothing that ties you to that one location you've lived before. If possible, you also want to consider to pay off any kind of consumer debt you might have, like credit card debt, or if you have student loans, make sure that you calculate them into your budget so that you are able to still keep paying them off. Next, you want to learn as much as possible about the digital nomad life by watching videos about the digital nomad life, by joining online communities for digital nomads. This will help you to expand your network and also fight homesickness. There are pages like NOMAD List where you can see location rankings and you can chat and arrange meetups with other nomads. Then there's a group called NOMAD Base. It's a Facebook group with over 46,000 members. In general, Facebook and Reddit are good places to look for digital nomad communities and connect with other digital nomads. And of course, keep doing your own research just like you're doing it right now. Next, you want to figure out how and where you want to live. Do you want to live in a tropical country? Do you want to live in a place where you can enjoy lots of nightlife? Do you want to live in an apartment, in a hostel, in a hotel, or maybe in a shared villa? Do you want to go with somebody, your partner, your friend, or do you want to go on your own? Kind of make sure that the lifestyle you want and the place you choose fits into your budget. When choosing a city or a place, you want to make sure you're choosing choosing a digital nomad friendly place, also visa-wise. In some countries it's easier to get long-term visas, in others it's a bit more difficult and also more pricey. You also want to consider to move to places where there's a low cost of living, because then you will be able to live a larger life. I have a video for you where I compare 5 digital nomad places where you can live for around $1,000 a month. I will definitely link it here for you so you can check that out. I've been living in Bali for the past 1.5 years and the living cost in Bali is around $1,000. That's definitely a lot less than it's in other countries. Other places that are digital friendly could be Colombia, Thailand, Mexico. There are definitely lots and lots of options. If you chose the city or the place you want to go to, you also want to have a foolproof plan to fall back to. I know things don't always go to plan, but it's always good to have one in case something happens. If you have a plan, it will be your place of certainty and also your safety net if things don't work out well. Be clear on what you want and where you want to go. Know what streams of income you will have when you leave. Figure out the insurance, the healthcare, the transportation, all these kind of things. Of course, this plan varies from person to person, but let's say you want to be a digital nomad and move around every 2 to 3 months. Your plan could be something like this. Create a list of the places you want to go and kind of have a route in mind that makes sense. Consider the climate, the seasons, the distances. You want to think about all these things before. You also want to get an insurance that is recognized worldwide. We, for example, use Safety Wing. We had good experiences with them so far. It's just a digital nomad insurance that covers all the important things in case you have an accident or something happens. You always want to have that figured out because, of course, nothing will happen, but if you want to be covered. You don't want to be in a hospital and not being able to pay like an emergency surgery just because you didn't get insurance. And this was actually quite common in Bali. A lot of people did not have their insurance figured out, and then there were all these posts over social media with people not being able to pay like their emergency surgery and like trying to get enough donations so they can pay for it, and you don't want that. You also want to make sure that you keep people up to date where you are. Of course, nothing will happen to you, you're gonna be fine, but if you travel, especially on your own, just leave a digital trace that can be followed. And last but not least, have an emergency fund in place. I cannot stress this enough because if ever something happens and you need to get out of a place and you don't have an emergency fund, it will be really hard for you. You never know what happens. We just had a global pandemic and people were stuck in Bali. I mean, we wanted to go to Bali during the middle of the pandemic. I can make a separate video on that, why we did that, but that's another story. So when the pandemic hit, people were panicking. People didn't know what was going to happen. So a lot of people had to travel back to their countries. They might have regretted that decision, but yeah, a lot of people had to go back. And if something like this happens and you want to go back because you choose to, and you don't have an emergency fund in place, you will not be able to book the tickets. You never know what happens. An emergency departure could get expensive, so you just want to make sure you have this emergency fund money set in place so whenever you need it, you can use it. I really hope this video was helpful for you. I hope you can get a lot of value out of it. If you did, please make sure to hit the like button to let me know that you like this type of content. And if you have any more questions about the digital nomad life, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section down below. And if you press the subscribe button and the bell, I'm pretty sure I will see you in the next video. Bye!